Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another great stream. This is Suzette Speaks here, host of the Suzette Speaks Show. I want to welcome all of you who are watching. Please drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Today, we are partnering with our co-sponsors on Jamaicans.com. So if you're watching on Jamaicans.com, please drop a comment and let me know if you're watching on the Suzette Speaks Facebook page. Welcome. Glad to see you. Please drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. And finally, to my YouTubers, if you're watching me on YouTube, on the Suzette Speaks channel, welcome. I'm so grateful that you're here. We're going to have a very interesting conversation today. I'm grateful that all of you who have found me are a part of this community and are helping me build. I want to encourage you to hit the like button, share, and of course, comment. Hey, I see a heart already. That made my day. I'm grateful. This is going to be a little bit of a deep conversation, y'all. So I hope you are emotionally prepared because I'm talking to a good friend of mine in all openness and transparency. I know her. I had a fantastic conference about 2 years ago before COVID, met this wonderful woman. We have become fast friends and colleagues, and she has spoken with me at another event I put on in Orlando, and she has been very, very open about her work helping women with infertility. I don't know if you guys can relate. I don't know if you guys have had these challenges. I don't know if you know someone who has had infertility challenges, but it's a taboo subject. A lot of people don't talk about it. A lot of people assume that when you are ready to have a baby, you will be able to have a baby. And when you're married, the obvious next step is that you're going to have a baby. Or, that when you want one, you'll be able to, have a family. But that's far from accurate. That's not truthful, because there are many women, healthy women, young women even, that struggle with infertility. But in our society, we really don't talk about it. We have some of our, public figures who have come forward. I'm thinking of Gabrielle Union and others who have now started to talk a little bit about it and kind of pull back the veil a little bit about when it comes to what it's like to be a woman who wants a child or wants a family and can't have a family. I will tell you, in preparation for today's stream, I couldn't stop dreaming about this, y'all. Last night I didn't go to bed. I couldn't stop dreaming. I don't know if it was called dreams or nightmares, but I was having dreams that I would never get married. I was having dreams that I would never have babies. I would have a dream. Girl, I woke up sweat. Listen, I just got a booster shot. I was like, is the booster making me dream? Is the booster making me dream out loud? I was so freaked out. I mean, it was 3:00. It was 4:00. I woke up and I kept thinking, oh my God, is that me talking? Is it my subconscious talking? Knowing that I'm about to have this conversation with this wonderful woman here. Y'all, we gonna get into it. I want to welcome you again. This is the Suzette Speaks Show. I am Suzette Speaks. For those of you who are watching for the first time, welcome. I'm a TV host and attorney here in South Florida. I represent for the MIA. Where Miami at? Yes, 305. Broward County, where are you? 954. And of course, Palm Beach, 561. I am a born Jamaican, but grew up in Fort Lauderdale, Miami area. And so I am a mixture. I'm a Jamaican, if you will. And I have a wonderful experience of both cultures, and I'm grateful for both. And I have had a lot of, what should I say, deep and interesting conversations in and around my YouTube channel. And today, I think this one is going to really hit home for me. I'm a single woman. I am not married, and I don't have any kids yet. And as many in our society tend to remind me, hey, the clock is ticking. What's up? If you can relate, drop a comment. If you can relate, drop a comment. I have friends, I have family, I have everyone who is super concerned with how we doing in terms of the dating arena and how we doing in terms of making sure you can have a family if that's your desire. So I'm going to be open today. Like I said, I woke up with this topic on my mind. I was like, Lord, what is making me like dream about this? Is this you, or is this me freaking out about all the different ways in which, this very subject matter could apply to me? I don't know. and how it applies to people all around me, and how we never get to talk about it, and we have to pretend everything's okay. We can put on the mask. I'm super tired today. But we can put the face on and we can make it look like, oh, we got it all together. But this channel, this platform is about peeling back the curtain, is about opening up our heart space, our mental health, our hidden childhood, insecurities, and saying to ourselves, these areas don't have to be permanent. These areas can be addressed, right? We can learn to process them and they can be healed. What's up? Y'all hit the like button. Hit the like button so more people can see this stream. Again, I'm Suzette Speaks. It's a pleasure to be here. Y'all know what to do. Hit the like, I'm going to go to the comments now, see who's watching, see if you guys are sharing. Please share, please comment. It's the algorithm and all that. So I have a special guest with me. Okay, let me tell you how funny this is. She woke up. What's up, Wagwan, to my peoples, Jamaicans.com. Let me know you're watching. Suzette Speaks YouTube, but let me know you're watching. We're simulcasting today on 3 different platforms, so I'm very grateful for that. Big up to all of those watching on the Facebook page of Jamaicans.com, my co-sponsor for today's stream. Those watching on the Suzette Speaks Facebook pages, as well as on my YouTube channel. What's up, y'all? It's going to be an interesting conversation. Like I said, I am about opening up the, hidden emotions, hidden experiences, those that I could call them hidden, but I could actually say they're in plain sight, because once I started talking about them, most people start to say, oh, me too. Okay, that happened to me. That happened to my cousin. That happened to my sister. I'm going through that right now. I'm trying to process that right now, because I realized, as I've been talking a lot about relationships and the like, people can't be ready for relationships if they're bringing a lot of emotional baggage with them into the relationships. Yours truly included. I was thinking about myself. I'm like, if I happen to meet that special someone, what are they going to get? Are they going to get a woman that is ready to, open up not only her life, her heart space, her mind has been working at being ready to be compatible with somebody. Her heart space has been ready to receive, to know that, it's not just you in the game. It is going to now be you and he and hopefully a family. That takes work, guys. We don't just evolve by accident. We actually have to try, put work in to be open enough to say, wait, I'm not perfect. Wait, I have some areas that are, still causing me pain. I have some experiences that may have impacted me and impact my behavior even till now, impact how I think, how I relate to another human being, how I relate to somebody who's possibly going to be, my lover, my significant other. How do those things play out in our lives? If we ignore them, darlings, we cannot hopefully allow them space to heal, allow us ability to process. So we're going to talk about, again, sensitive topic, trigger warning for those of you who may be experiencing infertility, those of you who know somebody. Most women, as we did our wonderful Speak Women's Workshop in Orlando, that was right before COVID. That was like spring, January, February 2020, I think it was. We were up in Orlando, me and this wonderful lady, as well as another special guest speaker, went to Orlando, put on one of my fabulous workshops. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, check me out on Facebook. We do workshops that are empowering, that, again, help address the deep-seated issues that often hold us back. And Sandra Elidor, who's going to be joining us just momentarily, gave her testimony about infertility. And I was like, Lord, there was a woman there that it touched so deeply, so profoundly, because she was carrying with her. She was probably over 50, a lady who had attended. And she was just like, I've always felt regret that I never had a child, or I never could have a child. And I said, whoa, Lord, you didn't bring us all the way to Orlando just for this woman to get her healing, but maybe you did. And I just remember that moment thinking, this is why I do this work. A lot of people feel like they're not okay, but they don't have anyone to talk to. I do advocate for, mental health counseling. It's okay to see a therapist, Black people. It's okay to see a therapist. This life is hard. We have a lot of bumps and bruises along the way. And it's not always easy to process on your own. So I hope this will be a safe space where we can start to process some of that stuff. And I hope, it takes you into a mindset of, okay, let me take it a step further. What else am I carrying? What else do I need to do? Who else, has affected me, or have other experiences have had an impact, there we go, on me, that will, have a residual effect when I meet my husband, when I meet my wife. when I have my family, when I start my family, if God allows. And hello, somebody. Families come in all different forms now. There's adoption. There's the family that you choose, right? So in the Black community particularly, and cultural communities particularly, we like to assume everybody is going to have their own natural family. Everybody's fertile. That's what we say. Sorry for the crudeness, but we think that way. But what if you can't have? What if your significant other, your husband's biological, mechanisms aren't, functioning as they should? That's an uncomfortable conversation. We're going to have some of it. Let me say good morning to y'all. Hit the like button, please. Hit the like button. Suzette Speaks here. Welcome again to my channel. It's been a pleasure to just roll with the people who have been building with me. Thank you to my day ones. I know you. I see you. Thank you for watching. Drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. We're going to bring up our guests momentarily. So I'm going to see who's in the chat. You guys know I love your feedback. What's up, Doug was number one today. Welcome, Doug. How are you? Evelyn Young watching from UAE, United Arab Emirates, Dubai. Are you in Dubai? Where are you? That's one of my bucket list places. I want to visit the Burj Khalifa. I want to visit the tallest building in the world. And I want to go VIP. What's up? Let's go. UAE in the building. Toronto, Brenda Lee Green. Thank you so much. Oh, showtime. Yes, we are ready. Thank you, Sunbreeze. Bay Area in the building. How are you? Nice to see you. Great Britain watching. Thank you. Maria Luis, nice to see you. Yes, there is fertility treatment. We're going to talk a little bit about it. IVF, yes. Doesn't work for everyone, not always successful, but we're going to get into it. Thank you for suggesting that. Thank you. I see you. Welcome, Gypsy Girl 80. Hey, Mindful Me Moments. Lovely that you're here. Thank you. Fertility but not married. We're going to say, without judgment, people who have difficulty having children, right? Whatever form that's in. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty, but usually after marriage is when people figure this out. But yes, there are all types of people that want to have children, right? In different stages of life. But we're not going to judge that. We're going to say fertility issues in general, right? There are people who are freezing their eggs nowadays, but it's expensive. I hear you. Freezing of eggs is a very common thing. Several of my friends have done it, actually. I know people personally who are doing it. And they're afraid that they're not going to find their husband, quickly. Or, obviously when COVID came, everybody was like, dang, we can't even date. We can't even get out there. So it came to mind for lots of people that, oh boy, I got to, be proactive, and see where I can preserve, my ability if I meet somebody afterwards to be able to have a child with them. So no, that's real. Hey, what's going on, Sage Perception? Nice to see you. Good morning. What's up, Alonzo? Alonzo Hall, the All-Star Advisor. Welcome. Nice to see you, wife and mama. Wagwan, how are you? I see Brenda Lynn said many women who don't have kids by choice can always adopt children who don't have parents for whatever reason. Yes, that's definitely an option. That's definitely one we're going to talk about here. But we definitely want to talk about what happens after you find out, because most people don't know they are dealing with fertility issues until they start trying. That's the thing. You could be walking around, you just have your hopes and dreams up, and then you realize, I have been dealt a different hand. So how do I address that? What do I do now? So we're going to talk about that. Yeah. Hey, Wilda. Nice to see you. Welcome. Let's see. Georgette says, yeah, women are thinking about all these things about themselves. Remember, men are human beings. Two, they have baggage coming into the relationships, and they're acting himself. What are they taking? No, they're just entering. You have to meet each other where you guys are. Okay, I get the gist. Thank you. That, everybody can come with their own struggles. This is real. And that you have to try to meet the person where they are, identifying you are not perfect. I'm not perfect. We're both still working, works in progress. Yeah. Thank you. Let me see some new. Thank you, Brandon Baxter. Good morning. How are you from NYC? Represent New York in the building. Nice to see you. Sunbree says fertility. I don't know much about it. Let's see what I can learn from this. That's why we're here. Thank you, thank you. I see you, Clifton from Cliffy. Cliffy from 876 Jamaica Yard in the building. Well, go on. Let me get some new. Hey, Wilda from MIA. Nice to see you, Georgette. It says we women tend to put down ourselves and bring issues from different relationships into new relationships. As with a man, he just enters it what he has and hoping to find someone that he can deal with it. Okay, I think I get your gist. Yep. So we also need to enter relationships with what we are and meet each other where we hopefully are. Similar to what, yeah. I agree with you. Watching from New Jersey, Wagwan Pamela. Welcome. I saw you, Cliffy. I know the 876. Yes. Sunbree says, I'm ambitious, sexy, and anxious. Am I included in the fertility club? Are you included in the fertility club, Sunbreeze? We gonna find out today. Y'all ready for my guest? Please like, comment. A mahogany sins. Ooh, lovely name. I know a lot of women who are naturally finding it hard to get pregnant. That's what we're talking about today. That's a great segue, mahogany. There are so many women who suffer in silence, who can't go to their girlfriend who got 5 kids, who can't talk to their mom, who's like, try this tea, try that, boil up this root. What? We got it. We got a plant for everything, guys, especially coming from the Caribbean and otherwise. But it's unfathomable that there would be problems after you marry with possibly conceiving. But I will tell you, according to statistics, it's more common than we know. So we're going to talk about it. I have a wonderful guest waiting in the wings. Y'all ready for her? Hit the like button. Get them likes up. This is going to be a very informational stream. Again, I'm Suzette Speaks. I see new people joining. Welcome. Hit the like button. Come on in. We are talking infertility today. So we have an expert here. She's out of South Florida. She also has an organization called F.E.W, Filling Empty Wombs. And I'm so happy that she's taken time out of a busy day to come talk to us. Y'all give a warm Suzette Speaks show welcome to none other than Miss Sandra Elidor. Woo! Sandra, what's up?
Hello,
How you doing,
everyone. I am well. How are you?
I'm happy. I'm grateful. Girl, you had me dreaming last night. I dreamed some dreaming. I don't know if I dream or nightmare, but me thank God we're here to talk about this. Welcome, everybody. Hit the like button. Sandra is here. We are grateful that she is taking time out of her busy schedule. She does work. Well, let me have you introduce yourself. Welcome, everybody. Saying a great topic. Thank you, Odetto Chef. I'll be adding a lot to this conversation. That's what we want. It's all about the conversation today. So welcome, Miss Sandra. I'm gonna act like I don't know you, but I do. But let the people know who don't know you. They saying welcome. Who
Thank
Sandra
you.
Elidor is, and tell us just about your organization. Let's start there, and then we're gonna get into your story. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello, Jamaican.com. Suzette Speak. I love everything that Suzette does, and I've been following her for quite some time now. And I am Sandra Elidor. I am the founder of a new nonprofit called Filling Empty Wounds. We do provide support, and one of our goals is to be able to fund in the future for couples that's dealing with infertility. So we plan to do fundraising in different ways so we can obtain those funds to be able to give it back to the community for individuals that want to infertility treatment because we know that's super expensive. So we want to be able to provide that.
Okay, yay. So she's doing work to help others who cannot afford infertility treatments. Yes, we talked about it here. Y'all welcome her. Please hit the like button. She's coming with firsthand knowledge of everything she is supporting. And I'm grateful that, again, she has shared this story. I've seen it. They say good vibes, welcome. Everybody's greeting you. So tell me where this story begins for you. You yourself
Yes.
have dealt with infertility for several
Mhm.
years now.
Yes.
So let's
So,
start. I don't know where to go from the beginning because I mean, when you know somebody and you kind of know this story already, I'm like, think of it as somebody who's never ever met her. Where do we start? So tell us about, I guess, meeting your boo, getting married, and then trying to have your first child. Let's start there. Okay, let's go. Okay, tell us where you're from too. Tell us where you're from and all that too.
Okay. Well, I was born in Haiti. I am part of the Caribbean. Passe mon pam.
Hey, stop and say hey.
So I was born in Haiti and I was raised in Miami, and now I live in Fort Lauderdale. So my story with infertility actually started even before I got married, but didn't know until I got married. So it is a long process, but I'm going to try to sum it up as much as I can for you all. But my story started as early as me being in high school with several period issues, with back pain, debilitating pain, throwing up, passing out, and going to countless doctors and telling them I have an issue. Something is wrong. No one around me is having menstrual period like I am. Of course, being a Black woman, no one believed me. It was she's trying to get attention. Black women, they are stronger with pain. There's nothing wrong with them. So they can deal with it. Sent home, and that went on for about 21 years.
Wow.
Of me still sitting with this bad menstrual pain. So it's crazy. I dated my husband, not my husband in high school. And imagine finally got your boo bag. You guys are building a relationship, getting married, and then now trying to have children. And it's a struggle. It's not happening the way you wanted to. Going to countless doctors, can't find out why you're not getting pregnant. It's not until I got medication, and this medication affected the issue that I was having with my menstrual. And the doctor was like, okay, let's have surgery. And come to find out, I had stage 9 of something called endometriosis, which is basically as you get your menstrual, it's supposed to exit out. We know it's supposed to exit, but for some reason, some of them go other places and cause lesion and cause severe pain. So that's what I was dealt with. And 21 years, I was carrying that, and no one believed me, but yet that was the cause of my infertility issues. And for some, it could be fibroids. And we know African American, we're our number one with fibroids. And a lot of people don't, as I speak to other people, they don't realize that fibroids can come back. And if you have fibroids and doctors haven't told you, it can come back. And in many cases, it does come back.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for sharing that. I think there are a lot of people that's going to be Gypsy Girl saying endometriosis. Wow. So a lot of women do have, as you put it, issues around their menstrual cycle, and not everyone who is a practitioner, who is a physician, oftentimes diagnoses or addresses their issues adequately. So what you're saying is very common, I think, when it comes to, or a lot of people can relate anyway, when it comes to going from doctor to doctor to try to figure out, what's really going on with me. I have had cousins who have had fibroids. I have had family members who have also had, other problems in terms of their reproductive organs. So they asked, okay, did you say thyroid? No,
thyroid. I
fibroid.
didn't say it, but thyroid is one of the issues as well.
Oh, yeah, thyroid issue. Yes,
Mhm.
okay. Yes, you did also mention that. So thyroid issues are somewhat common. I have a cousin also with that. She had to get her thyroid removed and taking supplements instead to produce hormone. So yeah, so this is not like everybody wakes up and we think we're healthy. Everyone wakes up and thinks, the sky's the limit. Our bodies are, doing what they're supposed to do, but we are imperfect as human beings, and our bodies, obviously, with the food we eat, the environments we're in, the stress we're under, a lot can happen. A lot can happen. So you get the diagnosis of endometriosis, stage 9. So
Stage 4.
excuse me, stage 4. Stage 4. Okay. So tell me, what does that mean in terms of how they treat you, or was there any treatment for it?
Well, for the endometriosis, at this point, is more let's clear out as much as we can because of surgery to help clean out as much. My case, I had to remove one of my right tubes because it was shriveled up. If you took a piece of paper and you folded up, that's how my right tube looked. So they had to remove that. I had a cyst, they call it chocolate cyst. So basically, period over the years have been building up and causing a large cyst. And when they pop it, it looks like chocolate. So they call it chocolate cyst, which is basically old blood. And
Wow.
that was a size of a grapefruit sitting in my uterus. And that was one of the major causes of my pain. And with that, you also have sexual pain. So you and your
Right.
partner trying to get, all romantic and stuff, but you can't bypass
Mm-hmm.
the pain because
Mm-hmm.
it's so pain. And afterwards, it can last for days for many people. And that was the case. So imagine newlyweds, we're trying to get pregnant, and my once we got the diagnosis of endometriosis, everything was happening back to back. I have to take this
Mm-hmm.
medication. I have to get this test done. We now have to do this test called HSG. And this HSG is something that they basically have an ultrasound or actually an x-ray on your abdomen. And then
Mm-hmm.
they're basically sending fluid through your tube. It is extremely painful. And that's when I found out my left tube was completely blocked. So if you guys know how to get pregnant, you
Mm-hmm.
need the tubes in order for the sperms to travel. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the appointment I found out I had infertility issues.
Wow, there's a lot I just learned. Wow. So yeah, somebody's saying, wow, a cyst. Not only a cyst, what did you call it? A chocolate
Chocolate cyst. Chocolate
cyst.
cyst. Mhm.
So that's a I'm learning medical terms here, where it's made up of the old blood that did not be was not excreted from the body, sitting
Correct.
inside your uterus, building up, building
Building
up,
up.
building up
Yeah.
until the size of a grapefruit was sitting inside your uterus.
Yeah.
That is wild to me. That
Mhm.
and then it would lead to other pain, as you said, intimacy pain for when
Correct.
you and your husband was ready to try to, hey, let's make a family, and then you're having all this excruciating, I'm sure, pain, then
Mhm.
got tested, found out, oh, there's something in there that's
Mhm.
blocking it. And then that you're saying this EK, say it again, what's the
It's,
acronym for this type of test so other people can hear?
SAG,
S.
I'm sorry, SAG, I'm getting the letters wrong. SAG, which is basically saline. There's two versions. There's a saline, and then there's one that's a dye that they just push through your tubes to help it either opening up. If you have a small open, it can help clear up a little bit. Or it's if no liquid can go through, that means it's completely blocked. And that was the
So,
case for
so
me.
let me ask you this, cause this is what no in my spirit. I said, wait a minute, y'all hit the like button. Let's go, cause we getting scientific around here, and I'm learning with you guys. So please, my special guest today is Miss Sandra Elidor. She's the founder of an organization called Filling Empty Wombs. She is talking about her personal experience with infertility. So thank you, Sandra Elidor, for being here and for being so open and teaching us all this stuff. Like I heard this story, but I'm like, I'm learning new stuff right now. So I know for as a woman, we go to our annual, right? We go to our annual doctor. You usually get what's called a pap smear, your checks, checking your cervix, making
Mhm.
sure things look good. Had you been getting annuals up until this time and nobody saw all this?
Yes, it will not appear on the ultrasound. It will not. Most some fibroids, depending on what area you it's placed, it may be able to fill it, and some images may pop up for fibroids, depending on where it's located. But for endometriosis, the only way to discover it is through surgery.
What? I'm,
Mhm.
I'm like, what? I'm like, well, wasn't you getting checked every year? What's going on here? So you're saying still, even though you were going to get your annual, woman's visit, there was no sign of it. So there was
No,
no way for you to tell all the way from you started maybe at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Nobody would see this
yeah.
until you surgically opened up and saw
Open that.
this.
Correct. I mean, there were signs of it because my
Mm.
symptoms were textbook symptoms. It
Textbook,
was
yeah, just
listed.
exactly like it
Yeah,
sounded. Yeah, wow,
it
wow,
was
wow,
listed. I had it. But being a
wow.
Black woman,
Mm,
most people
mm,
don't believe you. Oh,
wow.
she's overacting. There's nothing wrong with her. She wants attention. And because
Mm,
of that, that's what's the cause of eventually my infertility issues. Is I won't even say that endometriosis was the cause of my infertility issues. I would say the lack of doctors listening was the
I
cause of my infertility issues. Because there are
understand.
women with endometriosis that's able to still have children if it's caught early, but it's
Ah,
the fact that some doctors tend to be dismissive for especially for Black women that they're not paying attention to us,
You're not
and
listened to.
we're
You're
not
not
listening,
heard.
not being
Yeah.
listened. So
Yeah,
I would
that's a
say,
lot going on in terms of the medical community right now in
mhm,
terms of studying this, because this is a
yeah,
real phenomenon. They many in the medical community sometimes assume the threshold for pain for Black people. This is almost like a social stereotype that
yeah,
we can withstand pain more than our white counterparts. It's the craziest thing. You could go in for the same surgery and you can get less pain medicine as a
mhm,
Black person because they feel like you don't need it. It's the craziest thing. So this is a real documented phenomenon, and I'm glad you're bringing it up. That sometimes, particularly Black women, when we're entering the medical courses of treatment, many times we are not being listened to and therefore overlooked. And like in your case, this has gone on for years. As you said, your symptoms were textbook, and you
that's
weren't until years later diagnosed, which is horrible because, like you said, if it was caught earlier, it could have been addressed better. So I'm so
yeah,
sorry that happened to you, and that again, many women experience this,
mhm,
and it's sad and it's unfair, and it's not something that we should just kind of like sweep under the rug. This is happening to real people and affecting real lives. So
mhm,
you finally get your diagnosis. They find out one tube is. It sounds like your
mhm.
fallopian tube is closed,
Close. One is
shriveled
shriveled
up,
up,
gone.
have to remove it completely, and the
Hmm.
other one is completely closed, shut down. Nothing can get through. So
So
there's
what do
no
they do?
way.
How do you get treatment? I'm looking at people are saying, Sunbreeze, thank you. Sorry, this horrible stuff that can happen to somebody. I can't even imagine having that. Yeah. Gail at Night. Thank you to one of my fantastic moderators. Gail at Night also has her own channel. Gail at Night says, Suzette Speaks, Sandra, have any social media we can follow? I found her YouTube channel, but there's no reason. Well, Gail, yes, she does. She's big on Instagram. I should have dropped that in the comments. Yeah. She is the most active on Instagram. So let me tell you what her Insta is. Thank you, Gail, for doing your homework, my darling, and making
I
sure
have
Sandra
several.
tell her which one to do so she could drop it so people could find you, Bob.
For the foundation, it will be Filling Empty Wounds, just like the name, Filling Empty Wounds. You'll find it there on Instagram and all
Okay.
social platforms, honestly. And for me personally, it will be Sandra Elidor.
Okay, so you can find her on Insta. Like I said, I've seen her do many lives on Instagram. That's her preferred platform. So
Yes.
on Instagram, look her up. That's her name, Sandra Elidor, and her organization's name. Now a nonprofit. Woo, woo,
Now
woo. Go
nonprofit.
girl.
Yes.
Go girl. I've seen her through this process. Go ahead and establish it as an official nonprofit organization. I'm
Mhm.
so proud of you. Filling Empty Wombs. Phew.
Yeah. Mhm.
Filling Empty Womb. So go ahead and check it out. She has a lot of resources there. If you choose to come up and talk about it here, great. If you don't, that's okay too. Y'all welcome. This is a Suzette Speaks Show special edition with my special guest, Miss Sandra Elidor, founder of Filling Empty Wombs, sharing her personal experience with infertility. So she's just told us that over the years, she's had menstrual pain. She's had irregular, I'm sure, cycles. She has been married, gets married, starts to experience intimacy pain, goes to the doctor, has been having her annuals. Didn't see anything when it came to an ultrasound. Didn't see anything with a normal, pap smear and the normal woman's annual visit. As she is now educating us, she had a condition called endometriosis, and she was in stage 4. That's what they found out after years of her explaining symptoms that were, as she put it, textbook. So tell us some of these textbook symptoms. If people are having these type of issues and they want to know, could this be me? What were some other textbook symptoms, or can you just kind of summarize what they were?
Yes. The major one that you should definitely look at is your level of pain. Is your level of pain. Not everyone with endometriosis is going to have severe pain, but most people do. And it's all depend on what's basically inside your body is where your endo is. So if it hits a
Mm,
nerve, you're going to have a lot of pain. So, and in my case, I had severe pain. So, level of pain, and I'm not talking about a little discomfort. No, debilitating pain. You're unable to go to work. You're unable to go to school. You can't function on those days of your menstrual or some of those days.
mm,
That's not normal.
yeah.
Discomfort is normal, but unable to live your life daily, you're debilitating. That's not normal. So
Wow.
definitely you need to speak to a professional. If you
Okay.
ever have passing out from, not everybody has that, but some people, the pain is so severe that they passing out, they throwing up. But one of the major ways people end up finding out is when it's time for them to want to have a child and they unable to. That's sadly when most people find out they have infertility issues.
Wow. So from you started your menstruation, that's you had always had that severe pain about it?
Always, always. The only time I did not have a pain is most doctors, well, pretty much all of them, what they will do is give you birth control to
Mhm.
supplement the pain.
Mhm.
And that works. It does. I was ecstatic when the first time I took it. I didn't have any pain. I didn't know what to do with myself because I was unfamiliar with
Yeah,
not
you're like,
having.
whoop whoop. I ain't got no
Whoop,
pain.
I can
Let's
jump, I
go.
can kick, I could do so many things. Like, this is how regular people feel like. Okay.
Like you was a girl on the Always commercials, just living my life, living.
Just living. I was excited. But there is a downfall.
Mm,
Right now they do birth control, they will use it as long term. Birth control is used for what it is called, birth control, not
yeah,
to
yeah,
stop
yeah.
anything else. Yes, it's good for that for some extent, but if you're doing it for a long period of time, you may have a little issue. Case in point, Gabrielle Union, she was on birth control for a very, very long time. And if you ever heard her story, that was one of the things she regret. And that caused her to not know or realize that I have an issue that I need to address. It was a band aid. Birth control is used as a band aid. You don't feel it, but sometimes having that pain makes you proactive, makes you, okay, I need to do more. I need to push through. I need to find the resources, talk to somebody. When you're on the birth control, it's more like, oh,
Oh,
I'm not feeling it.
so
I'm good.
yeah, so it has a double-edged sword. It
Correct.
take away the pain, but your body allows you to feel pain as a sign.
As a sign
The
that
body
something's.
produces pain to say, pay attention. Something is wrong here. I
Mhm.
want you to feel this so that are making a move. Let's go. Look at this. Check me out. But then the
Mhm.
birth control does subdue the pain. So
But you
therefore
still
you don't
have
feel it.
endometriosis. Yeah, you still have the chaos that's happening in their internal part. You just don't feel it.
Wow. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Wow. I can see that. So you wouldn't feel the pain, yay, but because you're not feeling the pain, you're not realizing your body is still in turmoil and therefore you're not trying to address it. Woo,
Correct.
that's deep. Okay, so that's what happened to
Mhm,
Gabrielle Union. I did not know that. I did not know
mhm.
that. So she also felt that type of excruciating pain, debilitating pain monthly, got on birth control. Whoo, no more pain. But then your body is still in turmoil. And because you're not feeling the pain, you're not going to get treatment and you're not going to seek help.
Correct.
Interesting.
Yeah, especially in
Wow.
her career,
Wow.
she needs to be out. Being in pain
Yeah.
and being home
As an
and
actress, yeah, she can't be on
as
no
an
set
actress,
talking
you
about, oh
can't
my gosh,
do.
I can't move. Yeah.
Mm-mm, can't do
She had to be
that.
able to
You
work.
got to.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Absolutely. Wow. So you get the diagnosis. You are now married. You are of a husband. You want, and I know y'all want kids. So,
Mhm,
what is the successful treatment? One fallopian tube down,
mhm.
shriveled up, another one
Yep.
blocked,
Mhm,
chocolate cyst.
mhm.
What it sounds like the worst case scenario. Like if I'm watching this, I'm like, well, dang, do she have kids? I don't mean to laugh about it. It is a serious subject, y'all. But just like when God says yes, even when the odds are against you, y'all, it can happen. So you get all of this info. You're now married. What do you do? What are the successful
Mhm,
alternatives? And what does that plan look like?
mhm. For me, once I got that diagnosis, I was mad. I think to this day, I'm still angry at doctors, the doctors
Mm,
that enlisted, not even the diagnosed anymore. It's the doctors. Like,
yeah.
I believe in therapy. I speak to my therapist all the time, and she's like, Sam,
Hey,
you need to learn to deal with that. I'm like, I don't want to. I'm mad
they
because
should
this
have found this way before. They should have made me, and it could have saved you a lot of pain
is a
and
lot
been
of pain,
able to treat you.
a lot of
And I
money.
hear you. I feel
Correct.
bad about
So,
it. We got to get past it, but I do feel bad. I can
yeah,
understand the feeling. I could.
it's a
So you
lot.
you you get all this info. So what do you do with it?
So I don't like to not have some control. And this is something in my body I had no control over.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do. I was lost. So what I did, the little bit that I was able to control, I went on a clean diet. I went on working out, making sure I removed gluten, I removed dairy, I removed a lot of things. And I loved the weight and my face. Everything was good. Um,
Mm.
physically, but I was still like, no, it's still mentally, I still can't produce. I still
Hmm.
can't give my child, my husband, an heir. You know how we
Right.
hear, gotta
Oh
give your
no.
last name.
Pressure.
Yes. And
Pressure.
yes, I'm from the islands too. So you're
Yeah.
hearing it from both sides. And this is something you need to do. You have to be
No,
able
first
to.
of all, you get the moms and them, the aunties, them. She can't have baby. She can't give you a baby. That's the
Mhm.
worst. It's not. It's what you feel about you, but then it's the
And for
chatter.
others.
It's the
Mhm,
chatter. Well, what
mhm.
y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna stay with her? Y'all gonna leave her? Y'all gonna like it's the very. It hurts. I could only imagine. Haitian families is like Jamaican families, like
Oh
what?
yes,
Woo, child.
yes.
It's the social pressure, and it's all
It's
the and now you
mhm.
like going to family functions like I heard what you said about.
Yeah. And the
Child,
crazy
I
thing,
can imagine that emotional toll, the mental toll. So you want this so bad. You want to give your child, yourself and your husband a child.
mhm.
So what do? You go on a
So
clean diet
I
first.
went
First
on
and
a clean
foremost, you said you cut
diet.
out all of this
I
sugar.
cut
I'm
off
sure gluten. What you
sugar,
said, dairy. You cut out all of this. You're going like basically just like almost vegan.
not vegan. I did pescatarian. So I
Pescatarian.
did
Okay, cool.
eat,
Just
yes,
just
I
so if
did
people
eat,
want to,
yes, I
relate
did
and see if they can follow. Yeah.
correct.
So you did
Because
pescatarian. Okay.
endometriosis have a lot of triggers. It's caused inflammation. You have to find out what's causing your inflammation. You'll
Got
hear
it.
everybody, don't eat dairy, don't eat gluten. Yes, those are heavy when it comes to endometriosis, but honestly, you have to find out what works for you. Because I can
Okay.
tell you everything that worked for me, but it may not be necessarily what's triggering your
Yours.
inflammation.
Got
So
it.
you need to
Thank
find
you.
out what's causing your inflammation. But I was
Hmm.
in a point I was desperate. So I'm gonna try everything humanly possible. And I did. But still can't get pregnant because I still have a block too. So my doctor said the only way we can get pregnant is through IVF. And as a Christian, I was opposed to that. I'm like, no, I don't want to play God.
Wait, wait,
God's
wait.
got
So the doctor said what? And then what? Say it one more time.
the only way I can get pregnant was through IVF.
IVF.
That's it. Hmm. And
Mm-hmm.
in vitro fertilization. That's the
Okay.
only way I can do
Mm-hmm.
that. So basically, IVF is they taking the sperm and they pumping you with a whole lot of medication as to
Hormones.
a
Yeah.
lot of hormones because they're trying to produce more eggs at one time. Because we know technically your body produces one egg every month.
Right.
Now, one is not enough. They trying to produce several at one time, so you have a better chance. So the medication itself is crazy expensive. It does a lot to your hormone. One minute you're giddy, one minute you're crying just because someone said hi. You're pouring tears for no reason at all.
It sounds like
So
that time of month on
yes,
steroids, literally.
steroids. Yes,
Lord.
steroids.
So
Correct.
wow. So this is the alternative. You would
That was
be
what
a
I was
candidate,
desperate.
perfect as they would say, candidate for IVF because you couldn't do it on
Correct.
your own.
Mhm.
So you decide to try this.
At first, no. At first,
Mm,
I did not. Because, like I
mm,
said, I felt like I was playing God.
okay.
Like, I didn't want to play God. But I spoke to my pastor at that time, and he was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
God created medicine,
Right.
God created doctors. You're not playing God because at the end of the day, not everyone that has infertility issues that goes through IVF is going to get pregnant. So God's
True.
hand is still on it. And
True.
I heard
Hmm.
those words and that did calm me down. And we pursued having to go through IVF. And I was happy that we did that. I was extremely happy that we did that. So
That's a big decision. So and
mhm,
first of all, it's an expensive decision. Hello, somebody.
very expensive.
So I think there is a lot of misnomers and misconceptions about IVF. Thank you for being so open and transparent because there are people that are going to have, like I said, maybe what we see on commercials, what we hear on certain TV shows or movies about what IVF is and isn't. So
Mhm.
tell us your experience. Did you go for a week? Is it like a week long, month long process? How long does it take? Y'all hit the like button. She's giving us some good information here. Um, what did it look like for you? What was the period of time? Was there pain involved? And let's talk about the money, because I think a lot of people don't realize this trying to have a baby thing is expensive also. So it's not even like everyone has access to it, which is
No.
unfortunate. So not everybody can make the decision as to even whether they want to use IVF or not.
Mhm.
So tell us about the actual process for you.
The process for everybody is going to look different because it's basically what's going on with your body and they address it per person. It's a custom made plan for each individual. No
Mm-hmm.
IVF treatment is going to look the same, but the overall logistic is the same. So in my case, a lot of the pre-work was done by my OB because my OB at that time also had infertility issues. I didn't know at that time, and she was taking care of me in that early stages. Right after I had my endometriosis surgery, my laparoscopic surgery. So I was on birth control in the beginning, which is called priming. Some people will have estrogen medication that they help to elevate some numbers, change some numbers. For the first IVF cycle, I did birth control for a month,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not taking the water pills. We want to, which is the pill that you take once you have your menstrual. We're not taking that. We don't want the period to come at all. We don't
Okay,
want it to
following
come.
you. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
now I'm taking those pills. Once I'm done, we're already talking about numbers in that process, how much it's going to cost, which on it is too much money, which we'll tell you. And we had to get our medication. And in my case, I had to give myself injections. I'm not a nurse. I'm not a doctor. This is my
Mm-hmm.
first time ever giving myself injection. So, and I told you earlier, I'm gonna have a little trust issue. I didn't trust my husband to give me my injections. So I gave myself 3 shots in the morning and 3 shots in the afternoon. And it has to be on schedule. If you do it at one, it has to be at one every single week. So in mine, it lasted for 2 weeks. And then after the 2 weeks, the doctor said I need a couple of more days because they're waiting for those follicles, those eggs. The follicle is what holds the eggs inside. They want it to be a certain size. It has to be big enough in order for it to happen. If they don't see the weight of these eggs, these follicles growing, they will either continue your medication or cancel your medication because you may not be a good candidate to actually do IVF. In my case, I was 30 at that time when we did it. I had some decent numbers and we proceed. We went through surgery. They had to remove everything. I did not have a lot of numbers, honestly. I had big follicles, but didn't have much eggs in them. And I want to say I may had started with 10. At the end, by the end of the day, I may had 6. But next day, I may have 5 because they have to see how much they develop. Right up to my surgery, I only had 2 eggs left. So you may start with one number, and right before your next surgery, you
Hold
may
on,
end
hold on, hold on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Blew my mind just then. Okay. So take me back. Okay, let's get back to biology 101. So I know that, okay, a woman is born with the amount of eggs she'll have for her lifetime.
Mhm,
Okay. So you have the egg them in the ovary, right?
mhm.
You have your fallopian tube where you're going to hopefully meet those swimmers
Mhm.
and you're going to get hopefully fertilization. So
Naturally. If that's
naturally,
natural,
okay.
yeah,
If
yes.
that is your body's in perfect working order, that's how it happens,
Yes,
right?
that's how it happens.
So
Mhm.
when a person has blocked fallopian tubes or shriveled up fallopian tubes, and then you're seeing the follicles. Now I remember getting back to biology class, the eggs having these. Oh, the fallopian tube follicles. Is that what it is that catch the
Um,
egg, or is it from the
Because
ovary?
what
Because I'm
happens,
like,
your
yeah,
eggs, yes, your eggs when
mhm.
it's coming out, is actually in a follicle. It's not just the egg itself.
From the
It's basically,
ovary side,
yes,
going that
it's
way. Okay,
correct. So it's
okay.
almost like a protected shield, I would say, in lack of a better term.
Mm,
The follicles
mm,
is what's surrounding the egg. And
Oh,
once
okay.
you can have more than one egg inside of a follicle. And with IVF, they want you to have multiple follicles in hopes that each
Active,
active,
active.
correct, at
Okay,
that one time.
okay.
So, and within those follicles, hopefully they have multiple eggs. You're on mute, Suzette.
Sorry, I'm sorry. For some reason you with me. I'm like bio 101. Let's back up. Let's back up. Let's figure this out. What we talking about here? So it comes out from the follicle, from the
Mhm.
ovary,
Right,
going out, and the follicles keep certain amount in them.
correct.
And we're trying to activate multiple, as you said, to
Multiple
produce
now.
more eggs at one time so
Correct.
that the likelihood of fertilization is higher. Woo,
Higher.
blew my mind.
Correct.
Just want to make sure we're all on the same page because if I'm not following, I know my audience is like, what? So I was like, let's back up a little bit.
I
So
didn't know you was
you're
gonna have
having
science
these
today.
exact hello, let's go. This is like I'm getting smarter. So we are taking hormone. IVF is taking hormone to
Yeah,
activate the body to produce more egg in one sitting as opposed to one per month.
correct.
So you do birth control for a month, you said, or 2 weeks, you said.
I did it for it's depending on some cases and
Oh
it's
yeah, so
different.
this is specific to Sandra. This is
To
not
me,
everybody's. I
it's
just
to
want to
me.
understand
I
your
was
journey. Yes,
yeah,
sorry.
I was on it for a month.
A month.
Mhm.
So that prime, you said prime, different hormones in your body, trying to make your body react a certain way.
Mhm.
Then what happens? So now your prime, your follicles, you said you had 5, 4, 3, 2, and then only 2 eggs. How did
And
that happen? This is what I'm like,
because
what happens to
yeah,
the other rest of the eggs? This is what I'm
the
like.
thing about it with the eggs, they wanted to divide. They wanted to if you ever seen any signs of how egg is done, it basically gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Uh-huh.
And if it's not doing that, it's useless. It's not doing it. They can't put that in you because it stops growing. So they want that egg that looks good, and they have different grades for them. So once it keeps doing that, I was like, okay, this is the egg that we want to use. Put it back in your system, or this is the egg that we're going to meet with the sperm in a petri dish for it to continue doing what it needs to do.
Ooh, so it's not about just producing an egg, it's then evaluating which eggs look the healthiest.
It's the
Ooh, okay.
healthiest, yes.
Okay.
Because we need to
And then
increase your chances of getting pregnant.
awesome. So it's not about just producing an egg. It's a
Mhm.
healthy egg or the healthiest of the
The
eggs
healthiest.
are what they
Mhm.
want to select so that they
Correct.
can now in like you said outside of the body put the sperm and the egg together and then place it back inside the body so that it
Correct.
has a chance to grow. Ooh, I'm getting there, sis. I thank you. Odeto Wagwad, Ode to Chef, whichever one I've been saying both, says, ladies, understanding your fertility is a part of your overall health. Absolutely. Please make
Mhm.
sure you have a mental professional that is actively helping you navigate these issues. Yes, because we didn't even get to that part of how it's making you feel emotionally.
Mhm.
You're going through all this. You're being told what you need to do. I got to figure out, do I want to do IVF? Like you
Yeah.
said, you had to figure out in your spiritual walk, is this for me, God? Got your spiritual clearance, your blessing to say no. God uses medicine. Said, okay, I'm
Mhm.
gonna do it. Then that physical part of now injecting yourself with different hormones on a
Mhm.
daily basis, time for time. You said can't be late.
Can't
Putting
be
it,
late.
I'm thinking about my diabetics who have to put in insulin and those things. And if you're
Mhm.
not used to that, needles as such. So you're doing that, priming your body, the hormones telling your body, triggering your body, start moving eggs, start moving follicles, start doing this.
Mhm.
Hormones are like the master glands are usually what tell your body it's time for this, it's time for that. But we are now kind of intervening and saying, produce
Mhm.
more. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So it does that. Then you have to evaluate. So are they doing this through endoscope, looking at the eggs?
And you are basically at the mercy of your body and your doctors. You are every other day you are being told to come back. They have to do ultrasound. They have to do blood work to see where your numbers are. And this I often tell when I speak to individuals, you need to talk to your supervisor if you're at work because you're going to be late, you're going to miss days. You need to talk to somebody. Yes, I know this is a very secretive, but the main people at your job, they need to know because you're going to take time off at any given time. Any given time. The doctor said, we need you to come back in the afternoon. You coming back in the afternoon. Because if not, there's a likely chance that your procedure will be canceled. and you don't get
Thank
your money back.
you. Yeah, so it's like a lot of in-office visits. So like you're not just gonna
Yeah.
be one and done. Thank you.
No.
Ode to Chef. Thank you very much. It seems she's saying it seems that her body was not receptive to medication. Is that correct? It seems like body was not ready. It happens. So was that the case for you? Hey, Ebony.
In this case, it wasn't. Yes, my body, because of my endometriosis, I don't have as much eggs anymore. So because the
Mm,
endometriosis over time, it eats all of this stuff. And some people, they figure, I'll have multiple surgeries. The most surgeries you have, it
You'll
actually
leave the scar tissue. I keep
leaves
telling people
scar
I've had
tissue.
friends with endometriosis
Yep.
and they're going in every second through their belly button, talking about they're going to look and they're going to look. I kept telling them. One of them
Mhm,
finally has gotten pregnant, but I was
mhm,
like, the more it felt to me like the doctors were experimenting in my, and it's not my body. I said, how
mhm.
many times are they gonna go through and poke and prod and poke and prod? Every time they cut you, they leave scar tissue,
Leaves scar tissue. They
and
do.
it's
But
gonna make
more
you
cases,
like.
yeah, in more cases, which I have conversations with other people, and I'm like, please, in this case, if you have to do multiple surgeries, please freeze your eggs
Boy,
because it eats up your eggs. More surgeries you have, it eats up your eggs. So your chances of actually getting pregnant is getting less than every time you go under the knife.
Think about that, ladies. Let's listen. Let's listen. Let's listen. Let's hear. Let's hear
Mhm,
that the more surgical procedures you possibly have as a result of challenges like endometriosis, the
mhm,
more possibility you have of having less eggs at the end of the day.
yep,
So everybody's body is different. This is for
mhm.
informational purposes, but it's
And we
something
don't
that
make,
you need to, huh?
unlike men, they can produce more sperm. We do not make more
We have a
eggs.
finite number of eggs. Amen. Hey, Rose, that was our third speaker in Orlando. Wagwan. Nice to see you, darling. Ode to Chef says, I meant to say medical, but if you're going through IVF, you should concern getting counseling to help you through. Oh, but she meant medical counseling. Oh, but I was taking it as mental health
Actually,
counseling on top of it. Both of them.
both. I advocate more now with mental health, and I'm hoping my organization will be able to get once you go through IVF treatment, they'll give suggestion. Go to acupuncture, see a nutritionist. They do not say mental health, and
Okay.
mental health with IVF to me is
It should go hand in
it's
hand. Let's go. Like it's
the
a very
medication
draining.
alone, yes, the medication alone drain you mentally. You're doing something
Mm.
that your body doesn't know what to do, that you're putting these medication. So I agree with him, the first one you said. He said it was a mistake. It was not a mistake. Mental health, I'm
Yeah,
advocating.
we took it the right way, Ode to Chef. So,
Mhm.
but I do agree with her as well. Medical counseling too, because what you're telling me, I had no idea it was this long. I had
Oh, it's
no
a long
idea it was this
process.
long
It's a long
and
process.
this involved.
Mhm,
Because no matter what, you think you say IVF,
mhm.
or you say freeze eggs, or you say whatever, and it sounds like this nice, pretty term. Oh, I'm just gonna freeze my eggs. I'm just going to have IVF, and it seems so simple, but it's not, as she's saying. So this took you about what, 2 months, 3 months?
This took me about almost 2 months to
Mm.
actually, not counting the pre-work of endometriosis and other medication that I had to take prior to that as well. I mean, during that process. But once we decided to actually go through IVF, it took about close to 2 months. And I was happy to say that my very first time I got pregnant, I mean, I did IVF, I got pregnant, and which is not often
Ooh, so
can
the
happen.
first round of treatment
First
worked.
round.
Listen,
What
Rose talking about, I think these doctors be doing them surgeries on purpose. What you say? They trying to get that issue.
some do, honestly.
I hate to believe it. I don't know that's everyone, but Rose, you listen. Some people out
Mhm,
here are not. There are scammers in every industry.
mhm.
I hope people keep that Hippocratic oath,
Yeah.
but not everybody does. Some people are trying to make money. But anyway,
Mhm.
so yeah, there's good and bad in every industry. So you definitely have to do your research, medical research as
Yeah.
well as
Which
as who
for
these actors are. Yes, go ahead.
what Rose said, one of the things that you see a lot for African American, and this has been studies, is that
Yeah.
especially with fibroids and other women issues like that, they are quick to tell us we need to have a hysterectomy.
Yes, they will take out a Black woman's uterus quicker than I've ever seen in my life, as
Yep.
opposed to women of other races.
Mhm.
I'm like, is that unintentional racism, or is that, I don't know.
I don't
They
know, but
That's the solution for everything. Take out the uterus. Just
take
take it
it out,
out. Just take
take
it
it out.
out.
Mhm. Yep.
And that it is just a lifelong implication of it. And again, at times it may be the appropriate course of action. But yes, there has been studies showing
Mhm.
that doctors tend to recommend hysterectomy for Black women far more often
Yep.
than our white counterparts and our other counterparts. So
Mhm.
there's a whole historical discussion to be held around that, but we're not going to get that deep. Y'all, welcome. This is Suzette Speaks. I'm Suzette Speaks, TV host and attorney here in South Florida, welcoming you. If you're watching on our sister platforms, our co-sponsors today, our Jamaicans.com Facebook page, as well as the Suzette Speaks Facebook page. And if you're watching on my YouTube channel, Suzette Speaks channel, big up yourself. Please hit that like button and subscribe. You guys know what it is. We are having a deep conversation today about infertility. There are so many ways this subject impacts our community, our families, our friends, our real people in our lives, and people don't really talk about it as much as we should. So we're spending time today with Sandra Elidor. She is the founder of a group called a nonprofit, called Filling Empty Womb. She's located here in South Florida. She is of Haitian American descent, and she's talking about her own personal journey with infertility. So she's just gone step by step telling us about her diagnosis with endometriosis, her first round of IVF, and what it has taken. Tell me about the physical toll and the emotional toll. So you had said almost 2 months, right? How did your body feel when you were done?
When I was done, I think for me, I was lucky that I had a support system. Although I'm in a Caribbean household, most Caribbean like, no, don't do this. You don't do IVF. We don't do that. I was fortunate enough to have my parents was supporting me, my brothers was supporting me, my husband. Oh, thank you, God, that he sent the right one for me because he was in it, he was with it. I had a big support, and when you're doing IVF, you need that support in order to get through it. So I didn't take it as harsh as some people would because I had the support system. I had selected people from my church that I kept updating them because they were my prayer warriors. So I was happy about that. The physical toll on my body, I was still eating right, so that helped. But I did have some pain because I was injected with so many medication. So remember those follicles I was talking about? I had basically they were super active now. They were super active. They were getting bigger even now that I was pregnant. I was still getting that residual from the medication that I had in my system. So, but that was the least of my concern. I was excited. I was pregnant. Even though I had a crazy roller coaster ride for my pregnancy, but I was ecstatic that first round IVF, we got pregnant. I had to make big adjustments when it comes to it because I had to step out of my comfort zone. Me and my husband went to move in with my mom. We were in one bedroom in her house in order to save for IVF because the cost was expensive. Although I had a doctor that his at that time his cost wasn't as bad compared to the national average. I spent medication as well as a procedure over $18,000 on IVF. Mind you, that's money.
Hold on. What?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know it costs a grip.
That was a big one.
18 grand.
And that's actually cheap for most. And that was one. If it wasn't successful, I had to pay all that over. I didn't do multiple rounds. One cost $18,000.
I'm just processing what you called, I was like, okay, the emotional toll, the physical toll. Okay. The financial toll on a family. First of all, you must be able to afford it. So not everybody can even afford this. If it's costing, and you're saying on the cheap end, $18,000 is a lot of money to have laying around, and discretionary income that a lot of people may not have. to even be able to do this. So wow. And then thankfully, as you said, that first round was successful. And if you didn't
That was
get, a successful round, that would have cost you again. Ooh wee.
mhm.
So wow, that's something to keep in mind, folks.
Yeah.
That this
And the
stuff is
price has
not.
the
Yeah. Ode to Chef says, did your insurance cover anything?
Unfortunately, South Florida with our health system is probably one of the worst, unfortunately. No, insurance doesn't cover anything. They cover the part to help diagnose the issue. But no, it
Oh,
does not cover. Thank God there are some states now that have legislations that have been passed that can help with some. New York is one of them. And we know Boston has really great medical insurance and system there. But unfortunately, South Florida is usually
no, Florida itself, yeah, we don't have it. We don't have it. Ode to Chef says, so glad you had a great had a great support system. Brenda Lee, hi Brenda Lee says IVF procedures are astronomical in cost. Yeah, they're gonna cost a pretty penny for sure. Kim Chemo C says any challenges with medical insurance covering fertility. Yeah, so she's saying no, they don't do that. Thank you, Mr. Untouchable says South Florida woman on the bar. We'll take it. Thank you so
we'll
much,
take
sir.
it.
Very sweet of you. So yeah, so Sandra's here talking infertility. So she's saying how much it costs, 18 grand. I'm still wrapping my head
Mhm.
around it.
Yep,
First round was successful though.
first
So
round.
through the pain, through the body acting up now because the hormones have been reset, reprogrammed to do all kinds of stuff. You'll be like, whoa, what's happening? My body is telling me something different than it hasn't ever. And so you get the proper egg, and
Yes.
then
Mhm.
the fertilization happens. It takes, and then
Mhm.
they put it back in your body. Is that correct?
Yes. I had two eggs left, and those two they implemented that back. So out of the two, one took, and that
Jesus.
was my son. And
Wow.
they were only due to based on your age. They a lot of places do not do two just because you
So wait. So that's for putting them back in your body.
put them
They
back.
don't ever put one. They put
They'll put
two.
one. No, most places
Only give you
it's at
one.
the discretion
Uh
if
huh.
they do two, and it's also based on your age and based on what they think your body can handle. Two, having multiples in there does not guarantee that you're actually going to get pregnant with all those eggs.
Yeah.
It doesn't increase your numbers. It actually, in some cases, may increase the danger. Have you
Yeah.
guys ever? Yeah, I know you guys heard of Octomom.
Yeah. That's how she got Octomom.
Yes. Since that, they have been regulation as how many eggs that they could
So they
implement.
implanted basically 10 eggs in that woman or 8 eggs in that woman, and all of them took.
Yep,
God.
correct.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Also, Ode to Chef says a lot of tech companies are covering these treatments now, tech and
Yes.
financial.
I
Ooh.
actually a lot of jobs, a lot of people that have infertility issues, they go work in certain companies that offer insurance.
Excuse me, I'm gonna go to Starbucks.
Starbucks is one.
That's what I said.
Starbucks
How
is
about that
one.
Starbucks?
Yes. And you can work there as part-time and it will be
And
covered.
still get the treatment.
You still get the
Ooh,
treatment.
baristas, let's go.
Yes. Google is one, T-Mobile is one. And if
Wow.
you do have issues and there are a company that will that you if you have infertility issues and you want your job to start offering that, reach out to me. There are companies that I know of that will come to your job and talk
Ooh,
to your HR department to
wow.
see how they implement insurance on through them and at low to no cost for the company if they do
That's
it correctly.
wow. That's
So
great
they
to
are,
know.
yeah. Mhm.
Woo, you guys are informing us. Thank you. This is for informational purposes only. Thank you, Gail. No medical advice is being dispensed here. We're just telling our personal stories on how this occurred in our lives here. With Sandra Elidor here from Filling Empty Wombs. Thank you, Sandra, for being so open, letting us know how this took place in your life. So you have a wonderful success story. I'm telling you, guys, after the rain is the rainbow. Thank you, Lord. So yeah, they talking about Starbucks always has awesome benefits.
Yes.
Brenda Lee adds the process is very hard on you to having to inject yourself every day at a specific time, and other things for the process to work. Yeah, we got to talk about that because I don't think people know what the process involves. Rose B says this is awesome that these companies are stepping up. I agree. All right, so you get the first egg, or you get 2 eggs implanted. They were fertilized in a petri dish, came out, put them in your body, said, okay, let's see what the body does with them.
Correct.
One of the two took.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. So you had a normal pregnancy from then on? The 9 months was smooth like that?
No, I won't say that. I won't say that. Unfortunately, as I was ecstatic. I love my pregnancy. I didn't have any pain with it, but I did have something called placenta previa, which was basically my body just starts bleeding all the time during the pregnancy. The placenta will start tearing, pulling apart in a little bit. I'm not sure if that's part of my endometriosis. Part of me feel like it is because of scar tissue that is in my uterus because of endo. So that's another reason why sometimes I'm still mad at the doctors, was because it keeps popping up. It keeps popping up. So because of that, I had several bleeding. I started with at home bed rest, and unfortunately, and eventually, I was placed in hospital bed rest. I was in hospital for almost 2.5 months and had my son at 29 weeks. He was premature, but he was a bigger preemie. So I still had my support system throughout. My son is healthy. You would not know he was a premature baby. Even when I was pregnant, I was told he may have a learning disability. That boy is super smart. He is now 7, about to celebrate his 8th birthday in January. So I am so grateful for my team, my support team.
Oh.
So I'm so grateful for God for allowing us to go through this. But
Amen.
I'm proud of the little one that
So fantastic. Like she said, the drama didn't stop there, guys.
I know.
When we think about life and we're like, oh, she got it. The IVF took, and then the pregnancy, and then the all of this stuff, your placenta, trying to come off the side where it feeds the baby. It's trying to separate from your body. Wait a minute, we don't want that. A premature son, supposedly going to have a learning disability and all this other stuff. Preemie. And he is, I've seen him. Beautiful, beautiful baby boy. I'm so grateful to have, just heard this. So I know you did this again.
I did. I tried during the pandemic. My husband had such a trauma with our pregnancy, and we both did, that we couldn't decide if we wanted to try again. Although I wish we did try again sooner, because my body is ready. We can do it again. I was much younger, but it takes a lot. It took a lot mentally, and he had to be there mentally, and I had to wait to make sure he was there mentally to see if we can do this again, because he basically almost lost his wife and child in one pregnancy. So we decided to do again. At the heart of COVID, and we was told no. We went through 3 months trying to get my body. Remember when I said the prep work? It took this time, it was 3 months, and it still wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. Because now my body, because of my endometriosis, I was 37 at that time, and I started menopausal.
At 37?
37. And this is the reason why, again, I still get mad at doctors from way back when. Like I said, it keeps reappearing in a different phase of my life.
Yeah. The initial sin, if you will.
It keeps reappearing over and over again for different reasons. So if I was people were listening to me then, doctors listening to me then, I wouldn't have this, which caused this, which caused this, which caused this. So, and I
So wait there. So my mind is going 10 places. So do you think, because 37 for me in understanding menopause starts at different times for different people. So do you think that what I'm considering early menopause was due to the endometriosis or to the IVF?
It's due, not the IVF, but it's due to my eggs are less now. So once your body is start losing eggs, remember that's what helps regulate your hormones, regulate your menstrual. That's all that is connected. And I'm starting to lose eggs. And that was as we're doing these pre-work and getting medication, I wasn't getting eggs. They couldn't find my ovulation. I'm ovulating, but I was ovulating with no eggs. They had a hard time finding eggs.
I'm lost. Hold on. Make sure I understand what's going on
It's
here.
a lot. It's a lot.
So tell me again. You have a successful pregnancy.
The first one, yes.
Yeah. From IVF treatment, which caused you to ovulate out a bunch of your eggs.
Correct.
So when it ovulated out a bunch of your eggs, they took out the healthy ones, found 2 that were great, and the other ones like basically were lost, died.
Were lost, yeah, pretty much.
So was that the total amount of your eggs, or were there more eggs in your body?
There's still more eggs in your body, yes. And that was like 7, 8, almost 8 years ago.
Okay, so it wasn't a total sum of what was left in your body.
They can't take every egg. That's their
okay.
body.
That's okay. For those of us who are slow in the back, okay. Just a short one of you. So now you say, okay, finally, you heal physically, mentally, spiritually. Husband heals physically, spiritually, mentally. So you're ready again. So when you try again, you're telling me your body did not respond to the hormone and was not pushing out eggs.
No.
So there were still eggs in your ovary.
Still eggs, but it was not coming up to surface. There's still some left, but they're not coming up to surface.
Can I ask, do they know why?
Due to I had surgeries for my endometriosis, which I need.
Right.
Surgery. My endometriosis eats up most of my eggs. So unfortunately, the second round, and then age plays a major
part. Yeah. Ode to Chef was saying that too. Thanks, Ode. We were saying that like in aging, and as you're saying with your particular issue of endometriosis, that will make it much more difficult. Lord, I'm learning today. Y'all hit that like button, get them likes up, so other people will watch and share this. I see the comment section is lighting up. Let's go to the comments and make sure y'all can show some love. Here's my Cash App. Appreciate if you like this type of content. I appreciate all the support. Your eyeballs are support. But if you feel led, there's also super chat available if you're on YouTube. Thank you so much. All right, let's get to the comments. All righty. Queen Wagwan. Queen Regina says, Suzette, you're bringing a wonderful topic to us. Thanks to this woman. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Queen. So Brenda Lee asked, what's the age limit to go through IVF? Do you know, Sandra? Is there an upper age limit?
No. Some facilities won't. It's not based on age limit. It's based on what your body can do. For some people, they can be 40, 50, 60 and their body is still doing it. Yeah. So for some, it could be 29 and their body's not doing what they're supposed to do. But it's all based on the individual. So in order to really know that, you have to go see a specialist. And my African Black queens, please see a specialist. I think one of our things is we have this apprehensiveness of us that if we go see an infertility doctor, that means it's true. But if you have cancer, you're going to see an oncologist. If you break a limb, you're going to see a specialist. So if you have something going on in your uterus, you need to see a specialist. Don't let it sit and act. If I stay ignorant, it's
oh no. If you don't speak a thing, it's not a thing.
That's not exactly.
Right? I don't want to speak that over my life, so I'm not gonna go. Yeah, that can play a part. That denial, or this so-called, God give you wisdom.
Yes.
God give you wisdom. And so-called, and I see this question, Sunbreeze. Thank you. What about herbal medicine? Because God gave us modern medicine. There are certain religious sects that will not go to surgery because they believe that's outside of God's will. But I believe. And what about herbal? Were you into this? Were they trying to give you the teas and the potions and the things like this? Did you try any of this?
The first time I did not, but I did do clean eating.
So you thought the food is your medicine, your food. That was your way of like
pig. The food is one of our biggest issues, like our biggest issues for everything. So I did go eating clean, pescatarian, organic. I made my own juice. Like I did as much as I can to regulate as much as I can.
Got
So
it.
I always recommend do both. If you
Start
have
with,
the funds,
start with what you can. Same thing Ode
both.
to Chef says.
Mhm.
Some breeds, there are some herbs that can
Then
regulate
regulate your body.
hormones.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
God gave us food first as our first medicine. So
first.
a lot of what modern medicine copies is what happens in nature.
Mhm. And the
The
problem,
compounds in certain herbs and certain
yes,
fruits and certain
and the
vegetables.
problem is with hormones. Why I mean the herbs, why it's not so massively there is because the Food and Drug Administration can't get funding for it. They can't make money off of it.
Exactly.
So yes, there are Eastern medication that takes its place.
African medication.
Both Eastern and Western, there's a place
Yeah.
for both.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
in
yeah.
good
Yeah.
infertility treatment, if you can do both, I say do both. I did acupuncture the second time. I still do acupuncture. I get herbs from my acupuncturist. So if anything, if it doesn't work for IVF, it works for your overall health.
Yeah, yeah. I think ask about it, guys.
Mhm.
Ask around. There is all this, to me, generational wisdom that is not necessarily openly passed down,
Mhm.
right? Women have been having this issue for thousands of years. I know it seemed like it's
Yeah.
brand new because we talk
Bible.
about it, but this has not been, nothing new under
Mhm.
the sun, right? So some of this knowledge, I agree with you, Brenda Lee here. Black women suffer from fibroids. That's another one. That's another one. We talked about endometriosis here, but fibroids, right? Otherwise known as
Mhm.
abdominal tumors. Because I think, again, because it affects mostly people of color, we call it fibroids. But if we just call it what it is, a tumor growing up in your abdomen, I think we get more attention and more funding and more research. I've had cousins who have had to have them big taken out. One who had her baby with it inside her.
Yeah.
They were gonna take it out, and they were like, "No, you know what? Nope. You can carry both, right?" It caused excess bleeding. They were afraid that it was gonna impact the fetus, but she had her baby with the fibroid. So, and she had already had it cut out once. It grew back. It was smaller this time. So there was everything. We don't want to look at, everything in a zero sum way. Oh, it's not going to work because you have fibroids. Oh, no. There's possibility that you
Yeah,
still
she
can get
can still
pregnant.
get pregnant.
But there is
Yeah.
so much, again, information out there that we don't necessarily access,
Correct.
or we get the wrong information, as Sandra did early on, that people were ignoring or saying, oh, it's just this, oh, it's just that, just take birth control and it'll stop your pain and go home. No, no, actually, I appreciate the fact. Yo, big up on yourself with the super sticker them. Let me read my super sticker them. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, the side effects of endometrial are the effects on egg quality. I did not know that. Thank you,
It
Otis
does.
Chef, dropping knowledge.
Mhm.
Thank you. I didn't know that.
It
That the
does.
side
It's a
effects
big
of
effect.
endometriosis is egg quality.
Mhm.
I didn't know that. Wow. Wow. Oh, wow. So I thought she only had two. Yes. So I wasn't the only one. Thank you, Gypsy Girl. I thought she only had two eggs forever. When she
So,
said it, I was like, you gonna use up all your eggs? I was confused. She's like, no, Suzette, there were more. Over my head. I had no idea. Thank you, Mindful Me Moments. Y'all get the likes up. I appreciate the support. I see the silver stickers coming through. I see the pones them. Isn't there another process to get the eggs out? Ask Rose. Will answer that. Just isn't there another process to get the eggs out? I'm not aware. I will ask Sandra.
as far as IVF,
Yeah, I was wondering
eggs
how you
out,
gonna get the eggs out.
you have to
I
do
don't know.
IVF is the only way to
I don't
actually
know.
get out. IVF will be the only way. There are different procedures for infertility that you can do.
I don't know what that
There's
means.
IUI.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's IUI, but IUI doesn't take your eggs out. IUI will just take the sperm and meat and allow the in your
Say
body.
what you're saying again. I'm sorry. IUI. I never heard of that.
There's IUI as well. That's a different procedure for infertility treatment. So with IUI, you need to know why you have
IUI. Learn something new.
yeah.
You learn something new. IUI. Okay, say it again. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
With IUI, you need to know why you're having infertility issues. Because I've heard countless of doctors doing IUI, and when I hear the cases, I'm like, you are not even qualified to do IUI. Because IUI, your tubes have to be open. It has to be open. So if your tube is blocked and the doctor says we're gonna do IUI, they're taking your money. because what
Okay,
it
we have to
is,
go Google that, Sandra. We have about 15 minutes left, so I have to go Google some of these things. Let me get to my super chatters. So IUI is another way, but it
it's
doesn't
another
work for
way.
everybody.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
There are
go.
also medication that you can take without having procedures as well.
Okay, we will have to bring you back to part 2 because we got a few minutes leave. Roll super sticker. Ba, ba, ba. Okay, do your research. Many of these doctors are using really old science. Nutrition is very important, and that is something most doctors don't talk about. This is true. Research what they're doing in other countries. Thank you, Rose. Rose has seen this and friends I know because we've talked, and it's a real thing. So you have to doctor shop as well. You have to research the researcher. You have to figure out. I have gone to my womanly exam, and I've told them certain things. And I'm like, I just read a study from and they're looking at me like, I'm like, I shouldn't be bringing you the facts, doc. You should actually be reading the most recent study from Harvard or the most recent study for this. I was open to have a conversation. They looking at me like, how does she know this? I'm like, because I like to be educated with what's going on with my body. Anyway, Kimo C says, I'm so impressed. Sandra knows all this stuff. Big up, Missy Star. Love it. It shows you've really taken time to learn this topic well and to make the best decisions for yourself. Keep sharing your knowledge. Thank you, Kimo. Yeah. Big super chat. Yeah. Thank you for the love, Kimo. And that is for you, Sandra. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
I know she's super knowledgeable. That's why I tried to bring people with different experiences. Mindful me with the pounds. Big up yourself. The pounds in the building. Let's go, London, Brixton, East and West and North and South. All of my UK brethren that are watching. UK is my second most viewed region besides the United States. So big up my brothers and sisters across the pond. Yes, I love them. Thank you, Mindful Me Moments, for coming in with just the love. Thank you so much for the poems there. So Ode to Chef says, we don't talk about the bad stuff. Yeah. Erica says, I carry 2 children with, fibroids. I have no idea why we have them. This is true. This is true. There's still a lot of research that should be done around fibroids. We don't know. And a lot of women, mostly women of color. I know Filipinas, friends who's at it. I have people from any type of tan and melanin people tend to get fibroids. Same thing with, things like lupus and some other conditions that we don't know why it affects us. Say again?
Sickle cell.
Sickle cell. Some of us are more prone to it because, we don't know. It's tied to our melanin. But yeah, this is true. And gratefully, you carry 2 children with the pelvic tumors, with the fibroids. So things can happen, guys. Don't think of it as a end of your, story.
Yeah. No. With fibroids is usually the placement. If you're unable to get pregnant, is probably due to where it's placed, how big it is. Because you can get pregnant if it's in a different place. You can get pregnant with it.
Yeah. So they're asking. Thank you, Gail. Gail says, I do business with Black-owned business that sells herbs and natural supplements. They recently opened a store in VA, but I bought online. Thank you, Gail. Appreciate it. So there are natural remedies available. Do your research. You got to look at what's inside of them too, right? Brenda Lee says, 8 years ago it was 18,000. How much is it in 2021? This is with inflation the way it is now.
Now for multiple cycles, I actually prefer, if someone come to me, I'm like, you need to do multiple cycles, because one, if you take one cycle, you may not get pregnant. With multiple cycles, they kind of guarantee baby in a way. So if you get pregnant and you have a miscarriage or it doesn't work, you can have another one. So for average here in South Florida, you're looking about $26,000.
Yeah, I've heard 30,000. That's what I've heard. Yeah, down here. So I don't know other parts of the country and the world what it would be like, but that's the ballpark.
Overseas is less. Overseas is less. But you have to do your research to make sure, because our standards overseas is different. You have to do your individual research, but they do have doctors overseas as well.
Okay, Mindful Me says Cambridge. Excuse me, Cambridge, UK in the building. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Mindful Me Moments. One of my day ones. Yes. Rose knows I love to say that. Yesterday's price is not today's price. Thank you, Fat Joe. Yesterday's price is definitely not today's price. If y'all haven't seen that meme, you'll get it. If you know, you know. But yeah. Let me see. Gail at Night says, my sister, and we'll talk about your final pregnancy, and we want to talk about other complications before you go. My sister had fibroids that went away when she was pregnant, but came back. Interesting. She lost her first child, but has 2 children and eventually had a partial hysterectomy. I think that's when they take out the uterus and leave the eggs, leave the ovaries or something like this. I think a lot of women are doing that. I don't know scientifically or medically if that's appropriate for you, but I think I've heard a lot of women saying, don't take out my ovaries because they regulate hormone. Yeah. So instead of doing a full hysterectomy, taking out the uterus as well as the 2 ovary, a lot of women are electing to do this. I've heard that too. Mindful Me Moments, big up yourself. Thank you so much. So Sandra, so you do it again?
I do it again. At least I try to.
You try to, and what happened? You're gonna give me a condensed, however, about 10 minutes. So give me some info. Yeah, go ahead.
I tried to do it, and the doctor said, unfortunately, we cannot. This time around, we couldn't do it. This was a different doctor from the first prior, and the only way we could get pregnant is through surrogacy. And that's something me and my husband. There's nothing wrong with surrogacy if that's the route that you choose. That wasn't the route that my husband and I wanted to do because we spoke about it prior. And we said, okay, you know what? It is what it is. Then that's it. And we'll just eventually adopt if that's something that we want to do. Well, I didn't know in that meeting I was already pregnant.
What? No. God playing tricks on you. God playing tricks.
Yes. At that meeting, they telling me, no, it can't happen. And I was already pregnant because of all the medication and the priming that we were doing before. It regulated my body.
Hold on, so that was a natural pregnancy?
That was a natural pregnancy. My numbers.
So y'all was putting in the work. Amen. Faith without works. Amen. Yeah. But look at God. Mm-hmm. So all of that hormones you was taking and shooting up with and getting your body primed, as we say.
Yes, the first time that was my only way. But remember, I was telling you guys I ate clean and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I think because of that tube that was blocked got unblocked. Because when I did go check it again, for my second surgery, I'm like, I need you to unblock my tube. He was like, I didn't even touch your tube. Your tubes was reopened. So clean eating and trying to eat, it does help in certain ways. You just have to find out what works for you.
Y'all wanted the testimony though.
That was.
I don't see no amens though. I don't see no amens. Y'all wanted the testimony though. So a blocked fallopian got unblocked.
Got unblocked. And we got pregnant on our own. We regulated our numbers.
This is like a miracle. It was. We just saying it. Well, it got unblocked. You got pregnant. Like, hello, that was the issue in the first place. None of that was happening in the first place. That's why we went through all the IVF and all the other stuff.
No.
So all of a sudden, here we are, all natural.
All natural, got pregnant. But unfortunately, that did end up in the loss. We had a miscarriage weeks later. But you know what? Now, last year we had the miscarriage. Yes, it affects me here and there, but I'm in a better place about it because that loss pushed me to my business that was just a social media thing. Now is a nonprofit. It pushed me to do that as a nonprofit, that I can no longer allow any women to not expend their family due to lack of funds.
Amen. And lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge. We don't want that. And so that's why the nonprofit is here. And this funding is also for any way you want to expand your family, not necessarily to IVF. It can be surrogacy and it can be for adoption as well.
Sandra, I did not know. I have the context because I knew you had suffered a miscarriage. Now I have the context. We might have to come back and just do a show on miscarriages because I had a former speaker. Hit the like button, y'all. Let's go. That also talked about Maron says she had if you go back and being a strong but vulnerable woman is the name of that show. Go back on my YouTube channel, Strong but Vulnerable. She talked about she has 3 kids and 5 pregnancies. And she, spoke a little bit about miscarriage, and I would love to delve in a little bit deeper because it is very common.
It's very
People have miscarriages. People assume because you got pregnant, you're going to have a baby.
yeah.
I have a friend, and I don't think she would mind me saying, right at the ninth month, like the week before the baby was supposed to, I know two people right before the baby was supposed to be born, like they had like this other girl had like the baby shower and like everything was ready. I'm talking about at the very end of her pregnancy,
Yeah,
lost her child. And that also happened to my friend who
that's hard.
one weekend you go into Friday and check and the baby has a heartbeat. It was a long weekend. It was like no, it was like Labor Day. And she went to Tuesday, no heartbeat. And it was like the most shocking thing to realize that a 9 month basically baby could be lost.
Yeah.
So that's a tragic, what should I say, pain point that many people have that we do not discuss. And I do just applaud you for keeping, your journey will, keep this at the forefront, keep the conversation going, let people know that, there's life after IVF, there's life after, heaven forbid, miscarriage.
Yeah.
Marriages can survive it because, marriages are tested.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another part of the story we go get next time, because
Yeah.
marriages are tested. Not only the woman feels it, the husband feel it too.
Correct.
The husband going on the emotional roller coaster with you.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many parts of this journey. We just scratching the surface here, Sandra. So just tell us more about the foundation and how, again, all of this led you
Mm-hmm.
to establishing what is becoming your life's work. Hello.
Yeah.
So nobody can teach you like someone who has been through it, right? So
Correct.
just
Mm-hmm.
talk about that how you were finally able to, oh my gosh, I got to come to terms with everything that's been happening to me
Mm-hmm.
and pour it into something that can help others. Talk
Yeah.
about that transition in your mind
Yeah.
and in your spirit.
Um, and it's crazy how in the beginning of going through IVF, I always felt like I'm gonna have to talk about this. Since the very beginning, I would tell my husband, I'm gonna have to talk about this, but I knew it wasn't now. Like the story was still being written. At some point, I would chat with random people, even when I was pregnant in the hospital. Random people would just come to my room and just had conversation, and they don't know anything about me. They don't know anything about IVF. They just so happen to be coming to cleaning my room, say hi, and we spark a conversation. So I knew at some point I was going to talk about this publicly to help others. I just didn't know what or when it's going to happen. And it's just a couple of years ago before my miscarriage, and in the midst of me praying, and I felt literally like something came from the sky and just fell on my lap. It just fell. And as soon as that happened, I knew I now have the go ahead to talk about it openly. And I did a live, I did an IG live with it, or a Facebook live, and the pouring of people that came and talking about, oh my gosh, I'm going through IVF, I'm going through infertility issues, I don't know what to look like. And most of them were Black women. And that brought tears to my eyes. And to the point, I didn't know if I wanted to be a for profit and nonprofit. I juggled with that for a couple of years. And then I had my miscarriage. And when that happened, I knew for sure it has to be a nonprofit. It has to be tailored to, hopefully organizations will be able to partner with us, be able to donate and be part of the organization to be able to help fund individuals, to be able to help them pay for their IVF or surrogacy, or be able to help them with an adoption process, any way to expand our family. And another program that we're also developing is to be able to, once you have a miscarriage, most people after they have a miscarriage or stillborn, they have to go back to work the next day. It's not recognized as your job bereavement. You're not getting paid to heal. You're not having a mental day. You just have to get back and go back to work. And that should not be the case. And that hurt me to know that you're losing a child and you can't heal. So one of our programs is to be able to help, even if it's a meal for a week, a meal for a month, or putting $500 in your pocket to help you pay something so we can help you with the healing process. That's something we want to do.
That is Sorry, that was like that's
That's fine.
incredible.
That's fine.
Because
That's
unpaid leave, we might have to take it.
yeah.
That also affected my good girlfriend, the one who went through it and lost her baby at the very end. She had to go back to work. I think she got, I don't know how long her bereavement leave was, but I know she was back in work and she was still grieving.
Yeah.
She said, I had to coach her. I was like, don't lose your job. She was going off on people like it hurt her heart. Her heart was still, it was biting. It was
Yeah.
hurt. It was fight. It was pain. And she was going off on them people at the job. I was like, don't go off on them people at your job. You need your job. I know you hurt. I know it's painful, but you got to do it. But for her, some extra time off would have helped. And I'm grateful that you will be offering and bringing light to the fact that a miscarriage or stillborn is not considered a loss in terms of bereavement leave, etc. So wow, that I didn't know that. Learning as we go. We have two final questions here. Thank you guys so much for all your wonderful questions. Thank you guys for lending ode to Chef and Rose B and all of you for and Sun Breeze sending your questions and offering your expertise as well. I saw this touched me. Thank you, Queen Regina. It says friendships feel it too. My baby survival versus my friend's baby not surviving. Wow. How do I share one of the most joyful, wonderful joys of my life during a moment my friends is experiencing the worst in her life? This I've heard this type of story.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like you could be at the peak of joy, you're having your baby, and your good friend lose her baby. I've seen this too. Isn't that crazy?
That happened to me. That actually happened to me when I lost one of my closest friend was going. She's pregnant, and I'm ecstatic for her, but I was sad for me. So
that's God testing, Lord. And I don't think he allowed
her, but it is one of those moments I'm happy for her and I'm sad for me. Matter of fact, her baby shower so happened to be on my due date. And I told her, you know what, I would love to be there, but unfortunately in this situation, I cannot. And it's okay to say you cannot. And I think people need to be more open with that. It's completely understood. I still send my gift, but I'm like, unfortunately, I cannot because this would have been my due date.
Jesus. Yeah. Yeah. So it's okay to step away and say, guys, I'm processing. I love you. I'm happy for you, but I'm processing. So I might not be able to come there on the day that my due date was. I hear you. How can human beings focus on any job or perform through such a traumatizing ordeal? That's what we have to recognize it as. I think lawmakers, we need to address this. Yes. Absolutely. Once again, this is for informational purposes only. Gail is saying thank you to everyone who has been supportive. I saw one more question I wanted to actually ask you before we sign off, and I'll let you kind of close us out. Can menopausal women here it is. Brenda Lee asks, can menopausal women have successful IVF? Menopausal meaning there's no more eggs. Is that menopause?
Yes and no, depending on your case. And some people, like post-menopausal, it'll be harder. During menopausal, you may just be irregulated for now. You may not have, because a full menopausal, you can't have your menstrual for 10 years. Then you'll consider that you are menopausal for sure. If you have it every so often, then you're menopausal, but you're not like post-menopausal. So you may have something. But
okay, so as long as you're still seeing your period.
Yes. So you need to go see a specialist so they can do these blood work to see what your numbers are. And some doctors, some won't do it. Some doctors will go at it aggressively for you to get pregnant. Some others will be like, no, we're not going to do that. We're not even going to check because it affects their numbers. As a patient, and if we're trying to do it for you and you don't get pregnant, it affects their numbers. So
you mean like the clinic saying they didn't get the success story? Oh boy. So they're doing it for success stories too, huh? They want to have good outcomes. Their percentage of good outcome is high. Wow.
Yes.
So I don't know how I feel about that.
I know. So
you're not gonna do it because it probably won't work and it's gonna ruin your averages. Thanks.
Yeah, they're not gonna do it. And I know one that would probably.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Do it. She's aggressive. She is a Black woman. She's in Nevada. So if anyone wants to have information, send me a message on Instagram and I will tag you. But she's one that she advocates for women of color and she advocates for infertility, period. So.
Oh, wow. Lynx, one of my favorite guests so far, who came on talking about God found his wife. Welcome, Lynx. How are you, my brother? ATL represent. Oh, no, I think he's in the Carolinas now. But wow, this hits close to home. Lost my firstborn son. It's a pain I wouldn't wish on anyone. I hear you. And like I said, even though we focus on the woman, the man feels it too.
Yeah, my husband
The
did.
man feels it. The man feels it too. So this can be very just a painful experience. Thank you for sharing that, Links. Welcome. They can carry doctors with with donor eggs. Ode to Chef was saying. So menopausal. Maybe if your eggs aren't healthy, you might be able to get donor eggs, and you carry. You might
Yes.
be able to carry.
Have donor eggs. You can have embryo.
Yeah. Okay.
You can.
Oh wow. Now, how you feel about egg freezing, Sandra? Do you recommend this?
I highly recommend it. And honestly, doctors, especially for African American, they don't mention it enough. If you're having multiple surgeries, your doctor need to mention that you need to freeze your eggs. If you're about to go to cancer treatment, they need to mention how you need to freeze your eggs, because especially now, even with cancer, younger people are getting cancer. Well, we wait till later on in my 40s, 50s, 60s. I have
No, people getting cancer early now.
yeah.
Bruh.
So I recommend freezing your eggs. If you're very career oriented and you know you're going to be going to
Climbing that corporate ladder.
and there's nothing wrong with that, just know at some point you may want to have children. Freeze your eggs. Yes,
I may start looking into it. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm
it's
not even
expensive.
after my dream last night. We said no, Jesus. I'm gonna have to start looking into all the options. God, Jesus, let's go, let's go. Amy Sue, welcome. Says try Crystal Alkaline Doulas tea. Is that the name of a person? Crystal Alkaline Doulas tea. All right, I'll just take it for the name. Her teas, have gotten many women pregnant who couldn't get pregnant before. Interesting. Thanks for that piece of information. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate
I don't
you,
know.
Amy.
I never heard of it.
I never heard of this.
It's
her suggestion. Do your research, but I appreciate that. Thank you, Crystal Alkaline Doulas. I will be looking her up too. Not today, but when we need it, we need it. All right, last question. What are some of the dangers? I think that's also something that we need to talk about. Cost of egg freezing. I hear you. Ode to Chef says if you're going to freeze your eggs, try to do it early, 28, not 38. Girl, we're not talking about those because we think we have all this time when we're 28. That's the thing. I think especially in our communities and Black communities of color especially, they act like you got forever. At 26, they're not pressuring you to get pregnant. At 28, they're not saying freeze eggs. I only had one homegirl. She's not really close to me anymore. I remember being in college and she was always talking about, I want to get pregnant by 30. Your eggs get old after that. And we thought she was crazy. And she was always on that from we were like 20, 21, 22. She was the only person in the crew talking about she wants to have her babies by 30. She wants to have her babies by 30. She don't want no geriatric pregnancy. For us, it was so far-fetched. We thought she was crazy. But there was just no emphasis, no information, nobody saying, let's be realistic, y'all. Well, while you're young, maybe you can freeze your eggs. Now, when the pressure is on, hit 30, hit 35, hit 40. Now everybody's scrambling. Woo-hoo-hoo. Let's go. When you have much more, better outcomes if you were to do it earlier. So it's a big deal. But for some reason, we're not talking about it, especially to the younger women.
We need to talk about it because when he says 28, that means you even if you're at 40, 50, that egg is still registered at when it was frozen. Still 28, not at the age you are. And even if
so it's a 28-year-old egg, not a 40-year-old egg. Understood. Decep says I froze at 38. It released so much pressure. My cousin's been telling me this. I might have to get on it. My cousin's been telling me this, that it just take the pressure off, and you're not like frightened at the fact that Jesus, I have not found the right person yet. I know I want to have a family when I do. And is this a possibility for me? And then you get those kind of feelings of, is this your will? Am I going against, as you did? Am I going against your will, God? Am I playing God or whatever? But I know eventually I want to give my husband a baby. Hello.
And there is
So
that
it's got to
service.
be something we talk about, guys. I'm not saying this for everybody. Again, this is for informational purposes. We're starting a discussion here. If you haven't thought about this, if you're young, if you're older, whatever, y'all now you want to get busy. Let's go. I hear they're mixing up eggs in some places. No, I know this is true. A couple of bad apples not everywhere.
Yeah.
Lashes says, I just have my baby in my 40s. I've seen that. But it's giving women the impression that it's easy to have babies in 40s. And it's not easy. Everybody's seeing these older women, more mature, I should say, women having babies. And so in your mind, oh, I got all this time. I have all this ability. I don't have to pressure myself. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. It's not going to work like that for everybody. And for the majority of us, it becomes more difficult as you get older. That's just nature. But people don't talk about it because we've seen so many
celebrities. Celebrities that you've seen it more and more. But let you know, most of the celebrities are doing surrogacy and they have frozen their eggs, or they're doing embryo transfer. So you're looking at Janet Jackson. Now they're not telling you these things, but they are doing it the medical way. They just don't share it.
Yeah. So you just see a baby and you think Janet got up at 50 and just had a baby. Baby, I tell you that Janet Jackson did not just get up and like, woo, I'm ready, and start that process. Hello. It had some medical intervention. She may have not shared it. I'm not privy to her doctor and all the information. But the likelihood for a J-Lo at 40 odd, at a Mariah Carey, Janet, we've seen some of this Ahali. These people are looking and making it seem like, oh, it's just easy. No, it's not.
It's easy financially for
because I got the money. They can roll up to the doctor like, yo, I'm ready. Let's go. And as you said, they're using donor eggs in some cases. They're using other mechanisms, different sperm, different this, that, to get their result. But no one is telling you it's taking a lot of money. They got the money. And they can show up and look like, oh, I just had my baby at 50. No. That's not how nature works.
No.
So I'm glad we are bringing this to the forefront. I agree with you, Brenda Lee. It wasn't popular to hear about freezing eggs. People are over that. I think the taboo has to be removed for a lot of people because you just don't know. If we heard about it at 28, Lord God, I would feel so much better already because I wouldn't feel so much pressure to get on my game and be doing that. I hear you though, ladies. This sounds like an informational a session that has been very helpful and opened a lot of eyes. So I don't know about freezing my eggs. I would need the security to chase the predator. I hear you, right? I see that. Let's see. King Harlem says, lots of times you have to have a C-section. This is true. Oh, the chef says in the 40s, it's not the first baby that will be the problem. It's the second. Ooh, hear you, sis. Thank you. So much good information. So Sandra, let us know where we can find you. Y'all coming through with the comments at the end. I love it. But the journey into having a child is not an easy one. As she just testified, there are ups, there are downs, there are complications for both the man and the woman that we have to really, really, really consider. Somebody's talking about when you have a baby, what would you name her? I ain't get that far yet. I was having dreams last night that this wasn't even going to happen, so I didn't get that far yet. I used to love the name Kingston long time, but a lot of Kingstons are around now, so I don't know about that name. But yeah, I hear you. So we gotta, Sandra, if you wouldn't mind coming back, what is the cost, real quick, of freezing eggs? Do you know?
I honestly won't be able to tell you that from the back of my head, but you have to go through the IVF process. You're still taking the medication, so that's the cost of the medication as well. So they can pull those eggs. The only thing, you won't have the surgery to put it back. They just freeze it for you. And then that's another storage fee as well.
Oh yeah, I know they charge you per year is what I'm realizing. Yeah, they charge you per year to keep it in a freezer. So you better budget.
Yeah. So it's all depend also how many eggs you're freezing.
Sandra, we're going to talk offline. Anyway, love this woman to life. Thank you, Sandra, for coming by today. Y'all hit the like button. Find out more information. See her name here and her organization, more importantly, support it. It's now officially a non-profit. I'm so proud of you, darling. Using this tragedy and turning it into triumph, using the pain and making it your purpose. That's what today's show is about. We can come on out on the other side. There's not going to always be, rainbows at the end of, every storm. But we can use what we've learned to help other people to grow, to gain knowledge, to hopefully not, have to go through it as a lonely and as, isolated as we did.
No.
Right. So I appreciate you. I am cheering for you. I'm grateful for you. This is like, again, this is like a follow up to a wonderful session we had right before this craziness started with COVID. So I would love to have you back, even for my Patreon. I would love to have you back to go into more detail for ladies who want to get in. Did y'all know I was starting a Patreon? December 15th. What's up, y'all? We're going deeper, more personal, small group for people who want to do more of these type of deep dives together in these, kind of secretive issues of life that we all sometimes may have to face, but we don't necessarily have a platform to do it. We're going to do it on my Patreon. So December 15th, consider please joining me on Patreon. We're going to have a couple good shows real quick. I will let Sandra just kind of do her close, and then I'll tell you what we have coming up on the Suzette Speak show in the next couple of days. Go ahead, Sandra.
I just thank you, Suzette, for having me. I always appreciate having be beside you guys. I love this lady. I met her years ago now, and I'm like, Suzette, I'll be on your show. And we have been here because I love what she's doing, her woman empowerment, and well, actually I won't even say women, people empowerment.
Yeah, now it's the dudes that let me know. Guys
Yes.
are in the chat, so they try to tell me soon.
Yes.
Make
People
sure you remember we're here.
Yes. So I appreciate you. I appreciate what you're doing. So at any point, if you have additional questions, I'm always open to answer questions. I do have support groups that I host. I have other ambassadors that we do have within the organization that also host support groups under us. So please you do not have to suffer in silence. If you know someone and they just don't know that how to talk about it to you, send them my way so they don't feel alone. This should not be a process that should be done alone. Support system is key. And we do have other programs available for other things. But if you know any organization that wants to be partner with us or fund us, send them my way. We'll take all. So have a great day, guys.
Yay, doing great work. You guys are amazing. Thank you to the audience. Listen, I want to try and get all the questions in. Please see Sandra on Instagram. What if a man's sperm count? We can't go too far. No, we kind of finish up. I love links. Talk about naming Barrington. Yes, for the old school Jamaicans in the building. Yes, keep her stress free indeed. 5,000 to 7,000 procedure plus meds is owed to Chef, saying, thank you. Journeys can be very rough. I hear you. Mental health is very important. Thank you. Blessings to Sandra, says links. This was an amazing chat, says Gypsy Girl 80. Thank you. Mindful Me Moment says to both of you. Congratulations to Sandra on her work. Thank you. Tragedy to triumph. That's what we're saying. Thank you. RM, one of the most fantastic moderators, along with Gail at Night. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank everybody sending you greetings. Looking forward to the Patreon. Can't wait. Can't wait. Real quick, Monday, I think I'm going to be doing about a health show with a lady who started a triathlon here in South Florida. Do you guys know what that is? Yes, swim, bike, run. So if we're talking about fitness and we're talking about all this stuff we're going to do for the 22, New You in 22, we're going to meet her on Monday. Wednesday, I can't wait for that show. Forgiveness saved my life. Forgiveness saved my life. This young lady from New Orleans, again, connected through social media. She had attempted violation, let's say, by a person that recently died, changed her life, dropped out of middle school. All this stuff happened to her, and the person recently died. And she talks about that path to forgiving him. I thought it was so moving when I just met her on social. I was like, can you come on my show and tell this story, because this is going to help people. Wednesday next week, we had marketing tips. You guys remember my friend Christina Duran from Beautiful Brown Girls Lunch? She had to cancel because her daughter wasn't feeling well. We didn't know if the daughter had, COVID, all that. She wants to reschedule. We're going to be here next Saturday at 12 with marketing tips for small business. So you guys will get a bunch of clips this weekend as well. I got some good words from Miss Kathy Remy. I'm going to repost, and a couple other ones from, Veronique Pierre, the lady who wrote another wonderful book. I'll be doing some clips this weekend, so you'll see that on YouTube. It's been fun, Sandra. This is how it goes. My long goodbyes. I know you got to go. Love you. Thank you. Save. You guys know what to do. Hit the like button, share. Patreon coming December 15th. hit that like for the last time. You guys know I'm obsessed with that like. Thank you to everyone who gave a super chat, to my sponsors of the stream. I think it would be a tie. It'd probably be Rose and whoever. I can't remember who else gave that $10 super chat. It was a tie for my stream sponsor. Thank you so much for your support. Love Ono. Thank you, Sandra. A pleasure as always. We'll catch up for real offline. All right. Love you, sis. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you guys very soon. Okay. Take care. Love you. Thanks for your support. Bye, guys. Okay, bye for real.